So it's Tuesday again, and it feels like every Tuesday I just be making one of these messages. I don't know what it is. I just feel like philosophical on Tuesday or something. I don't know why I get the slutty shoulder out. But it feels like every Tuesday I'll just be listening to some podcast or some like motivational video or something instead of music. Like the rest of the week of work, I'm listening to music or something. And then specifically Tuesday, I wake up and I'm like, all right, I got to get on my grind. And not saying that's a good thing. Like you should be on your grind every day, bro. Like if you're trying to get your goals done, do that every day. If you're trying to learn and grow, be doing that every day. But for some reason on Tuesday, bro. So today I was listening to several videos on kind of getting your goals done, getting out of bad habits, and kind of a little bit of relationship stuff, but not so much today. And I don't really have bad habits I'm trying to break, other than maybe pride, which I guess me saying I don't have bad habits is pride as well, because everybody has some sort of bad habit, no matter how big or small it is. But something I found really interesting that I wanted to make a short little message about is what this guy said about instead of removing bad habits, adding good habits, right? And it's so, because it's so contrary to what I've been told, at least. And I figure a lot of other people have been also told that, and that's how they have grown up. And like when they're asking for advice or wisdom from their friends of having a bad habit, they're just like, all right, just quit, bro. Right? You need to just quit this and everything else will work. And it's like, well, what do you mean just quit? Right? If you have a bad habit, no matter what it is, it could genuinely be a million different things. A bad habit is just something that you like to do or that you are just used to doing, right? It's like a part of your regular daily life or weekly life or whatever. And when this thing happens, this is your response to it, and it's a bad response and it has all these negative effects, you realize that there's negative effects to that, and you think to yourself, okay, well, something has to change here. I got to change this bad habit to a better habit. I need to respond in a better way, right? I need to treat this differently. And it's not easy to quit because it's a habit for a reason. A habit, which comes from the word habitat, which is where we rest, right? For example, a fish wouldn't want to be in the Sahara Desert because it's just going to die, right? And a camel wouldn't want to be in Antarctica because it's just going to die, right? It ain't built for that temperature. It's not the right habitat, okay? And so you feel like the right place for me to be is right here in my bad habits. However, there's something else, right? We have this kind of conflict throughout our whole life between our body and our innate desires of our flesh and our mind and our spirit, right? Which goes against our flesh and our body. And it's like, this is what my nature wants me to do, but I have another nature inside of me that's telling me that it's wrong. It's kind of weird to think that there's this conflict within yourself, but that's really what all of life is just learning to develop the right habits and forcing your flesh to do that for you, being able to control yourself, self-control, which comes through discipline. And so the hope through developing that discipline and self-control is that your habitat, or where you feel natural and comfortable to be, is a lot better and more beneficial for you, right? What this guy was talking about in this video was a lot about the gym and like, you know, being physically fit, and also how that affects like the rest of your life, right? If you're lazy in one area, you're going to be lazy in a lot of other areas. So if you don't go to the gym and you keep skipping the gym and you keep having a bad diet, well, you're going to be lazy in a relationship as well, right? You're going to be lazy in business and your job as well. And so you're not going to get money, you're not going to have friends, and you're going to wonder to yourself, well, why? Well, if you had a disciplined mindset, you would be able to see why. And it's because, you know, in this scenario, you don't have a disciplined mindset, right? If you don't have discipline or self-control and you just decide to be lazy and chase dopamine instead of chasing purpose, then you're going to feel comfortable in a terrible place, which we don't want. So when we are overcoming that laziness, what this guy was saying is to add good habits instead of thinking at all about getting rid of bad habits, right? And of course, the goal in this scenario was removing bad habits, but don't think at all about your goal, which is removing bad habits. It's about adding good habits, right? Because you want to be the type of person that has all these good habits. And so all you're focused on is, well, I need to get rid of this bad habit so I can have those good habits. Well, just get the good habits. You don't need to worry about the bad habit. right? And because it will be replaced automatically, right? If you're lazy and you start going to the gym consistently, at some point you're not lazy anymore, right? Because you've been going to the gym for a year now. It's like, man, I want to stop doing this lazy habit. And then you start going to the gym every day, and then you start going on hikes every week, right? Backpacking trips, and you start praying and reading your Bible all the time instead of scrolling on Instagram. And then one day you'll wake up and think, I was lazy when I was younger, but I don't think I am anymore. And you'll just wake up and realize you have so much self-control and discipline, and it was the result of replacing those bad habits with good habits, right? But the truth of the matter is, when you get these good habits, you won't have time to have your good and bad habits. You got to pick one, right? You got to pick one. So it's not about rejecting the bad habit, because then you're left with, well, what do I do now? It's about accepting the good habit. It's there waiting for you, bro. The good habit is there waiting for you to take it. Just like the bad habit. They are both there, easily accessible to you, and you just have to go out and accept them. So going to the gym, it's easily accessible there to you. And so is going home and just gooning. Or I don't know why, that's where my mind went. Gorging on food, doom scrolling, and binging Netflix or whatever you're going to do. Lazy, bruh. Like, what is the point of that? Playing video games? What kind of like fulfillment is that going to give you, bruh? Maybe that's just me, but I don't find any joy or purpose in playing video games or going home and watching a movie. And I could see how when you're with friends, like, that could be fun, right? But even playing video games with friends, it's like, we're all wasting time together. Why don't we get something done, bruh? Because I know dang well they're on video games all the time. I can't wrap my head around it and feel good about it, playing video games even with my friends, right? When it's by yourself, that's a whole different level of depressing. But for me, even with my friends, going in and just playing video games for hours on end, staying up and losing sleep, and like genuinely being detrimental to your health. And now they just drink caffeine and energy drinks all the time because they're up late gaming for like 7 hours every day. Every day, bro. If you told that to like any adult, they'd laugh. They wouldn't think that's even possible. Like, the screen time that people realistically have, people don't even like imagine it's even close to that. But like, I remember when I was a gamer all the time, I would look at my phone and it would be over 11 hours of screen time a day. Right? And not for a consistent week, but it was pretty consistent, like every month. There were weeks where I had 11, 12, 13-hour days. Days, bro. Like one day. And it was more than half the day I was on my phone. How, bro? Genuinely how? And so it's not about, okay, I need to get my screen time down. Tomorrow I'm going to get 1 minute of screen time. And then like how, bro? Well, you're just going to sit there and do nothing for those 12 hours that you've been addicted to your phone, doom scrolling on Instagram? Like, yes, you have 12 free hours. And yes, you can see, oh, that's a good thing. I have 12 free hours now. What are you going to do with it, bruh? You need to have a good habit already set as your goal. The good habit is your goal. This is why people in sports and professional sports, when someone is so passionate about getting into the NFL or the league, whatever sport they're doing, they don't have all these bad habits. Because for one, they're training all the time, right? They're in the gym. But that sport is training them to be disciplined so that they can be better at the sport, right? It's like these coaches are intentionally coaching you with good habits and giving you good habits, which automatically gets rid of the bad habits. Like, I feel like people who are genuinely athletes aren't even going to worry about binge watching stuff and having a horrible diet because they don't even think about it. It's natural for them at this point to have a good diet and to exercise and go to the gym. And if they have free time, they go to the gym. Maybe they go fishing, whatever. I mean, athletes don't really have any free time, to be fair. That's why I would hate to be an athlete. And also, I just suck at sports. The point is, they have all these good habits and they've been doing them for so long, training, right? This is training. so that the bad habits, they don't even need to think about anymore, bro. And we could really dive so deep into this and just go on a rant anywhere, which direction. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to let you guys sit with this message and understand that if you have something you want to stop doing, as in any bad habit, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't have to be porn. It doesn't have to be alcohol or drugs. It could genuinely be anything, right? It could be pride, right? Which is something I deal with, pride. And pride is for me, pride isn't even an outwards thing. Like, I respect people outwardly, but it's like inwardly, I disrespect you. Like, I could be speaking to your face and being nice to somebody, but inwardly, it's like, I disrespect this person. Right? It's like, I do not like this person. I'm not listening to anything they're saying. I don't care about them. If something bad happened to them, I wouldn't care. And I feel like that's where my pride kind of is fueled. It's not like outward where I'm like, I think I'm telling everybody I'm better than them. It's like, I just feel in my heart like I'm better than them. So it's not like I'm acting on it. It's just like, it's about the heart, right? So with any bad habit, it is about the heart. You have to get to the point where you genuinely don't even have a desire to do it anymore. So like, if I get to the point where I genuinely don't even desire to look down on people anymore, that would be a good place for me. I genuinely have no desire to play video games anymore. That's something I've already done. Genuinely have no desire to look at porn. That is also something I've done. And it wasn't just thinking, oh, well, I don't want to do this anymore because I realize it's bad. That was a big part for any habits that I've quit. But it was about getting good habits in their place. It was about, okay, what kind of person do I want to be? Right? It wasn't about what kind of person don't I want to be. You can look around and see so many people you don't want to be. And if you start comparing with who you don't want to be, you're going to start accepting what you're doing, because you're going to look around and see so many people worse than you with more bad habits than you. And then you're going to think, my bad habit isn't that bad. And so you can either look at bad people and say, I call them bad people, just people who haven't gone on their journey as long as you, right? They have worse habits than you. And you can say, oh, it's all objective. There is clearly people who have worse habits than you that are more detrimental long-term. And so you can look at those people and say, oh, well, my bad habits aren't as bad as theirs, so it's not that bad. That's one option you could take. Or you could look at people with much better habits than you, and then you could think, okay, that's what I want to get to. What are they doing on a daily basis? What are they doing in their life? What brings them fulfillment? What are they doing for fun? What are they doing to keep disciplined? And then you just start doing that. Do those habits, bro. Do those. Write out a list. Get a whiteboard. This is what I just did. This is what I did just last night. So I have this big whiteboard, right? And I had written out sets for certain things. So I had hygiene and health and exercise and spiritual and kind of mental and emotional, and then also exploration. So just exploration being creativity and exploring new things, trying new things, right? Getting out there. And then also social kind of stuff. And so last night I just got 3 new notebooks and I just started writing out stuff, because I've had those there since New Year's Day, written on that whiteboard, which I got for Christmas. And so I just started writing out in these notebooks, and I was staying up late. I was writing for about 2 hours, and I wasn't sitting down or anything. I was standing up. I was standing in the middle of my room, just writing on this notebook. And it was I was tired, but I knew it had to get done. I knew I had to set these goals for myself, and I had to keep them, or my life was going to keep on going the way it's been, stagnant and not being where I want to be. And so you always look, oh, this is where I want to be. And if you don't get any closer for an extended period of time, you're going to give up. That's just the way it is, bro. Your mind is not stupid, right? It knows, well, you've not gotten any closer, you're never going to get there, bro. And that's facts. That's true. If you aren't getting any closer, you're not going to get there. If you're at the bottom of an escalator and it's off and you're just standing on it, on the bottom of the escalator, you're not going to get to the top unless you start walking up the steps. Why wait for it to turn on? Why wait for life to just give you everything? Start walking, bro. Start climbing up the stairs. It's like everyone wants it handed to them on a silver golden platter, bro, encrusted with diamonds. At this point, it's not going to work out that way. We need to have self-control and discipline. And so this message was just something that was really on my heart, because last night I was writing out all these good habits. When am I going to do these? How often am I going to do all these things? What new things am I putting into my life? What things do I need to do more? Right? Hydration is a huge thing. I've been super dehydrated. Right? I drink like 1 ounce a day, bro. Like, I'll be drinking like tea, or I'll buy energy drinks or whatever when I'm working in the stores. And my water bottle is just sitting down here on the ground. Why don't I ever drink this, bro? It was full for like 2 weeks one time, because I never sipped one drink of it, bro. Drank one sip. I don't know how to speak English anymore, bro. But today, this has like nothing left, bro. This is completely empty. And it was full this morning because I set those goals for myself. And so it's not like I'm avoiding being dehydrated. I'm chasing being hydrated. And it's like, oh, well, that's the same thing. It's not the same thing, because of that aspect of, you can look at someone doing worse than you, or you can look at someone doing better than you. So always chase being better. Don't run away from being worse. Don't look at your past. Look at your future, because that's going to motivate you. And you can be discouraged in that too. But it's more discouraging to look at the past and say, you know what? I'm just going to accept that we're going back. We're going to backslide into what I was doing before. All these bad habits. No, stay focused on getting better, bro. And so last night, what I did was I'm implementing good habits. I'm going to write out in these journals, good habits. And then whenever I have anything I want to add, I got a whole notebook left to add more, right? Hygiene, exercise, spiritual and mental health, exploration, and of course, just health in general, right? Eating better, hydration. And so I already know in my head, the only reason I'm doing this is because I know my life will get better exponentially if I have these good habits. There isn't a bad habit that I'm trying to quit right now, right? And so I'm in a good place to make this message. I don't have a bad habit that I'm trying to quit, apart from pride, I guess, which is kind of hard to distinguish. Most of all, it's just like, I don't have habits in general, and I want good habits. It's really about focusing on, where are we going, right? So introduce into your life good habits that you can keep, right? If you want to start small, that's all good. But the good habits you instill in yourself are going to push you toward being that person who you ultimately want to be. Inevitably, it's going to push you away from being the bad person who you feel like you are. If you feel bad about yourself, you're not alone, bro. Everybody feels that way. Everybody at least has felt that way in their life, and not for a short amount of time. It's like it's a whole canon season that we feel, right? Sometimes it's decades where you just feel like your life sucks. But if you don't do anything about it, it's never going to change. So don't get all worked up and worried about escaping something. You're not running from anything. You're running to something. It's such a good analogy that life is a race, right? Because you're running to the finish line. You're not running away from something that's going to bite your head off, right? You're not trying to escape hell your whole life. Once you're already set right with God, like, you're chilling and you're running that life that God has for you. You're running to something. You're not running away from your problems or running away from Satan trying to kill you and screw you over. You don't have to worry about anything that's behind you. It's behind you for a reason. You're running to something. And what you're running to is your goals, ideally. And so set these good habits in place so that you will just feel natural and your habitat will become those good habits. Hopefully you guys could get something from this. If you got any insight or anything to add, drop it down in the comments. Drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.